Welcome everybody, and this is our second lecture on GST. So today we are going to understand in depth about the concept of GST. You will find rarest of the rarest videos which will explain the concept of GST in such depth, and I truly mean it. After referring to 25 plus books, I found these concepts and will make your entire understanding of indirect taxes and GST simple with this lecture. So don't skip and listen, completely focus, understand every bit of this lecture. It is super important to understand the fundamental of GST law in India. Okay, so let's start. First thing, what are the various systems of indirect tax? You'll not find this in many books, right? So concentrate. What are the various systems of indirect tax? Now, I also did not include it in my notes because from exam perspective, it's not relevant for you. But for understanding it is relevant, right? That's why I kept it in lectures. So first indirect tax system was a single point tax system. What is it? Single point tax system. Now let's simply remember that there are three stages. To keep it as simple as possible, I am taking only three stages. There is a manufacturer who sells it to wholesaler. There is a wholesaler who sells it to retailer. There is a retailer who sells it to customer. So let's assume that there are three stages in the whole taxation system or whole supply chain of goods. Now, manufacturer made the good and sold it for suppose 100 rupees. Now in single point tax system, tax will be levied at only one stage because the name itself tells single point tax system. So what happened here? 100 rupees, 10% is the rate of tax for simplicity of calculation. Okay. Now 100 rupees into 10%, how much? 10 rupees. Now government collected 10 rupees. Now let manufacturer sell it to wholesaler, wholesaler sell it to retailer, retailer sell it to sub-retailer, or how many times let the goods be sold. Government is least bothered about it. Government simply says you manufactured, you pay tax at the time of sale because you are the manufacturer. We'll collect tax only one time. Now you think, is this a good system of indirect tax? Now one thing is sure, that government will definitely collect that 10 rupees because manufacturers have a scale of operations, so government can easily catch them. They cannot escape taxes, correct? So that's why this is a good system. But think about, on 100 rupees 10%, 10 rupees government got. But think about, at the next level it was 150, next level it became 180. On 180, if government could have collected 10%, it could have been 18 rupees. But did government get 18 rupees? 180 into 10%, 18 ही होता है ना, right? Very good. So they lost that extra 8 rupees by collecting tax only at one point, and that's what the limitation of single point tax system is. So let's cancel. This system is not good because there is loss to the government. Government totally lost 8 rupees in this example. Just for our understanding, random numbers I took. But in reality, it's very big amount. Okay. Now, second system is retail tax system. Now, what retail tax system says, that will tax the goods only one time only. Right? There is a manufacturing stage, there is a wholesale distribution stage, there is a retailer stage, right? Three stages are there. So when retailer sells the goods at 180 rupees, he should collect 10% tax from the customer. So how much it will be? 180 into 10%. So 18 rupees tax. Who should collect? Retailer should collect from the government. Now can our country, India, follow this retail tax system? Think about. Now in the single point tax system, we lost that 8 rupees. So here we are not losing any tax. Total 18 rupees we are collecting. So this is good or bad? Absolutely great, correct? Government is not troubling everybody, collecting tax from retailer, and reasonably whatever tax government want to get, they got it. So it's a nice system. What do you feel? The answer is absolutely no. Why? Because so this system is cancelled. Now why this is a bad system, I'll tell you. Retail tax system, let's cancel. Why? Because in India, you think who is the last seller? Do we know who is the last seller? India, if we study economics, there is organized market and there is unorganized market. So India is organized market, yeah, mostly unorganized sector is there. So in our country, unorganized sector prevails. So we don't know who is the last retailer. Then will government be able to get money? Will government be able to get the tax? Absolutely no. So that's why retail tax system lost to government, so cancel. Arey sir, single point tax system cancelled, retail tax system cancelled. Then what is this system of GST? I'll tell, don't worry. First, let's understand the third system. Third system is multi-point tax system. What I used the word? Multi-point tax system. Now here also manufacturer. So multi-point means tax is levied at single point, yeah, at each point. The answer is each point of sale, or in today's language, each point of supply. Okay, correct. Now manufacturer 100 rupees he sells the goods. Government says pay 10% tax. So manufacturer paid 10 rupees tax. Retailer, wholesaler sold it for 150 rupees. Then government said please pay 10% tax. Then wholesaler paid 15 rupees tax. Then retailer sold it at 180 rupees. Government said please pay 10% tax. 180 into 10%, 18 rupees. So retailer again paid 18 rupees tax. But now think, normally government should have got 18 rupees tax. Correct? That's the maximum government should collect. But here how much? 10 plus 18, 28 plus 15, 43 rupees tax. अरे 10 plus 15 25 होगा, yes or no? 15 plus 25 plus 18 43, correct? So on 180 rupees goods, 43 rupees tax. Huge amount of tax, right? So 100 rupees is taxed at manufacturing stage. Again when wholesaler sold, in that 150, 100 is included or not? Included. So that 100 is again taxed. Now when wholesaler paid tax on 150, 10%, 15 rupees. Now retailer, he purchased for 150 and sold it for 180. So in 180, 150 is included, correct? Yes or no? So there is a double taxation or multiplicity of taxes on the single good, and that's why multi-point tax system is cancelled. It's not good because customer has to pay huge amount of tax, right? So that's why multi-point tax system cancel. But this is very good actually in some sense. At every stage government is collecting something, so government will not have a risk. So what they did, they added something to this multi-point tax system and created a nice taxation system. and that is multi-point tax system on value addition. What they created? Multi means at multiple stage, at manufacturing stage, at wholesale stage, at retail stage. So multiple stages. So multi-point tax system. So indirect tax system on value addition. Value addition means now tax is on the total value, like total 100 rupees, total 150 rupees, total 180 rupees. No, only on value addition the tax will be. This way, government is not collecting unfair heavy taxes, and the taxpayer cannot escape taxes. He will have to pay at each and every stage. So here both can agree, and this is a fair taxation system. Let's understand with numbers. So here I have put so many columns, so you should not get confused. One is sale price, second is tax rate, which is common till now. Okay. Then I said output tax. That means on the sale value, whatever tax is calculated, like 100 into 10%, 10 rupees, this is output tax. Now, whatever tax paid at the earlier stage, that is called as input tax, and that is given as credit by the government, right? So you get some vouchers to pay, right? Something on Amazon, and will you pay the entire bill if you get voucher? You will redeem the voucher, correct, and then pay the balance. This happens or not? So same way, when you get a discount coupon, when you paid some gift card, right, you don't pay that gift card amount, or you don't pay that discount coupon amount. You pay the balance amount to the seller. Similarly, here input tax credit is the coupon given by the government. To whom? To the businessman, so that they can only pay that additional tax, no need to pay total output tax. Clear? No confusion? Correct? Very good. Now finally we understood about input tax credit. Last one is net tax payable. Now columns are clear to you. Now let's start, jump into it. Manufacturer. How much is the sale value? 100 rupees. How much is the tax rate? 10%. How much is the output tax? 10 rupees. 100 into 10%, 10 rupees is the tax. Very good. Now 10 rupees is the output tax. But in the previous stages, was there any tax paid? No. So that's why input tax rate is 0. Okay. So 10 output tax minus input tax 0. So 10 minus 0 will be net tax payable. That is 10 rupees. Okay. Manufacturing related line clear to you. Now let's come to wholesaler. Wholesaler. Now if you did not understand, just focus on wholesaler computation. You will easily understand the manufacturer if you are still having doubts. Okay. Let's continue. Now come to the wholesaler part. 150 rupees is the sale value. Tax rate is 10%, and tax, that is output tax, 15 rupees. Very good. 150 into 10% is 15 rupees. That's it. What's wrong with it? Nothing. Now I'll tell you, in the previous stage some tax was paid, yes or no? Yes, 10 rupees was paid, and that became input tax credit here. Okay. So when manufacturer sold the goods to wholesaler, will manufacturer sell at 100 rupees and just leave it? No. Manufacturer collects 110 rupees from the wholesaler. So wholesaler already paid 10 rupees tax. Should he pay 15 rupees again? No, right? So that's why wholesaler computation I am telling again. So 150 is the sale value, 10% is the rate of tax, output tax becomes 15 and already paid 10 rupees, correct? So it becomes input tax credit. Now 15 minus 10, 5 rupees is what wholesaler will pay to government. Now I'll ask you a simple question. Manufacturer sold for 100 rupees the goods to wholesaler and also collected 10 rupees tax. So how much manufacturer collected? 110 rupees. Okay, very good. Now tell me how much wholesaler collected from retailer? 150 is the sale price and 15 rupees is the tax. So 165 rupees who will collect? Wholesaler will collect from retailer. Okay, but this 15 rupees wholesaler collected from the retailer. But did he pay 15 to the government? Absolutely no. Because already 10 paid by wholesaler, right? So he will deduct that and 5 he will pay. Now next question. What about retailer? Retailer sold it for 180 rupees. Now 10% tax. How much it will come to? 180 into 10%. So 18 rupees is the tax. Very good. Now when 18 rupees is the tax, this is output tax of retailer. Come on, concentrate. 180 into 10%. 18 rupees is output tax for retailer. But retailer already paid something, right? In the past transaction with wholesaler, right? Retailer paid 15 rupees to wholesaler. Correct? So that's why this 15 should be given as input tax credit. Now let me explain. Output tax is 18 rupees for retailer. 15 retailer already paid. So it is input tax credit. Now you have to remember that 18 minus 15. 3 rupees only retailer will pay to the government. Now question to you. How much retailer will pay to government? 3 rupees. How we got it? Output tax minus input tax credit. What is the output tax? 18 rupees. What is the credit of retailer? 15 rupees. So 18 minus 15, 3 rupees. Now how much government got totally? 10 plus 5 plus 3. So totally 18 rupees government got. Correct? Very good. So did government get its fair tax amount? The answer is yes. Second point. Is customer charged heavily or some fair amount of tax is collected? Yes, customer is not charged heavily. So it is win-win for customer and government. You are very naughty. You will say, sir, if there is zero tax, then only customer wins. Arey yaar, you have to ensure that you survive and also the nation survives. You prosper, nation prosper. So that's why you have to pay reasonable taxes. Okay, you cannot escape. Chalo. Now you understood this multi-point tax system on value addition. Now I want to tell you how much retailer collected from the customer. Tell me, customer से कितना collect किया? Sir, 180 he collected. No. 18 rupees? No. Then 168? No. 180 is the price. 18 rupees is the tax. So 180 plus 18 how much? 198. Am I right? 180 plus 18, 198. This is what customer has to pay to the retailer. Correct? Now, with this line, what did you understand? Did manufacturer pay that 10 rupees? He shifted it to wholesaler. Did wholesaler pay that 15 rupees? No, he shifted it to retailer. Did retailer pay that 18 rupees? No, he shifted it to the consumer. That's why I was telling, in indirect tax system, burden is shifted to the ultimate consumer, and that's why indirect tax is a consumption based tax. Here payment is done by manufacturer. Manufacturer paid 10 rupees to government, wholesaler paid 5 rupees to government, retailer paid 3 rupees to government, but ultimately the burden shifted to consumer. Now you would have felt, अरे वाह sir, मजा आ गया. Yes or no? Because this is the depth with which we should understand or feel that concept. Whatever is written in the textbook, it's okay, we'll discuss. But beyond the textbook, the real reasoning behind the indirect tax concepts, we discussed it with these examples. Now, if multi-point tax system on value addition is so good, then why government remove that old indirect tax system and bring the GST law? Question or not? Genuine question, correct? To understand that, we'll understand what were the old indirect taxes. Some examples I took it here. Like you think there is a central excise duty. Now this is a tax on the manufacture of goods. Central excise duty is a tax on manufacture of the goods. So it is levied by whom? CG means central government. Central excise duty is a tax on manufacture or production of goods, and it was levied by central government. I am just talking about the old tax laws, okay? Just to make you understand what was the problem and how GST solved it. Yes or no? Suppose example, you start watching a movie and in the first scene itself, hero kills the gunda. Will you enjoy the movie? No. The hero should be beaten, hero should struggle, then at the last hero should kill that gunda, then you like it, right? Same way I am trying to explain you about the hero, that is our GST. Now let's continue. So excise duty, central excise duty, it is a tax on manufacture of goods and that's levied by central government. Central sales tax, this was also levied by central government. Now levied means charged, collected by central government. Okay, collected तो समझता है ना भाई, right? Now, so central sales tax is a tax on interstate sale. Now you will ask me, what is this interstate, sir? अरे यार, between two states, very simple. Okay, suppose some goods are sold from Madhya Pradesh to Telangana. So how many states are involved? Two states are involved. Madhya Pradesh is a separate state, Telangana is a separate state. If in the olden times, before 2017, if such sale happens, so goods are sold from Madhya Pradesh to Telangana, then on the sale, CST, Central Sales Tax, was collected, because Central Sales Tax is a tax on sale of interstate sale. Okay, sale of goods from one state to another, we call it as interstate sale. There is another tax called as service tax. Central government only levied, obviously name itself, right? Service tax. So if you are giving any service to other person, on that service tax is levied. Now suppose you go to some saloon or spa, right? Girls have a lot of continuous habits to go to spa. They go for hair dressing, right? Straightening of hair, curly hair, and arey yaar, I don't know how many types of hair, but anyhow, colors are there, facials are there, golden, diamond, jubilee, whatever it may be, right? So what they do, they take some service when they go to the parlor. Similarly, when you go to amusement park, you are enjoying a facility, that's a service. So on that service tax was levied. Then state government was to levy tax on sale within a state. Within a state means intra, INTRA, within. You would have heard about the word introspection. Am I focusing on the class? Am I listening to the lecture properly? Okay. So intra means within. Intra-state sale. On a sale within a state, VAT, value added tax, was levied by state government. Okay. Very good. Now let's understand excise duty on manufacture of goods levied by central government. CST on interstate, between two states. Interstate sale of goods, that is actually law is made by central government, but collection and money was kept by state government only. VAT, tax on intrastate sale within a state, like from Hyderabad to Nizamabad, within a state, right? Then state government can levy. Service tax, central government on any service rendered in any place in the country. Okay, nice, understood. Now some taxes are levied by central government, some taxes are levied by state government. Now we discussed in the last slide, if you remember what we discussed, that input tax credit should be given in the multi-point tax system. On value addition, input tax credit should be given. That means output minus input. But because some taxes were levied by central government, some are levied by state government, can credit be given? Difficult, correct? Suppose example, I purchase the goods from Madhya Pradesh and I bring the goods here. Then I sell the goods in Telangana. Now let's assume what happens. So I paid, suppose I paid excise duty. Excise duty, why? Because manufacturer manufactures the goods in Madhya Pradesh, right? So I paid excise duty on the manufacturer. Arey yaar, the manufacturer manufactured in that state, but he will collect that tax from me only, na, buyer only, na, correct? So I paid as a buyer excise duty. Because it is interstate sale from Madhya Pradesh to Telangana, I paid CST, right? Now all that I paid. But when I sold it to a buyer in Telangana, what will happen? Will I be able to deduct the input tax credit of excise and CST when I pay VAT in Telangana? Not at all. State government will see, are my tax, why should I deduct that central government tax? Similarly, suppose I purchase some goods in Telangana and then sell it to, suppose, Gujarat, then will the central government be ready to give credit? Not at all. So there was no understanding between central and state government to help the businessman. And what happened is taxes ke upar tax, taxes ke upar tax. So huge taxes were imposed, right? In old movies you were to hear, na, तारीख पे तारीख, तारीख पे तारीख, तारीख पे तारीख. From for judges we were to hear, but it was the same for taxes also. Taxes pe taxes, taxes pe taxes. And people were frustrated. Doing business was difficult. Now, when I explained theoretically, you may not have felt the burden. I don't understand, sir. Don't worry. For you, I brought numerical also. So you will feel, अरे कितना पैसा जा रहा देखो तुम आंखों से अभी. I will just open my notes and explain. Okay, चल. I'll also have to see my phone where whatever numbers are written I have to read. So let me also use it. Okay. Now, what happened? A from Gujarat. Who is the dealer? A from Gujarat. Sold certain goods to B from Haryana. So who is the first seller? A from Gujarat. Okay, he is the manufacturer, let's assume. Okay, and A is the manufacturer and A is seller. He sold it to B. Now B again sold it to C. Okay, but C and B are in same state, that is Haryana. So first, in Gujarat goods were manufactured, so there is excise duty. Second, what happened? From Gujarat to Haryana the sale happened, So CST, Central Sales Tax. And after that, B paid all these taxes and sold the same within the same state to C, that is in Haryana. Now, see how that magic happens. First, A sold the goods for 1 lakh rupees to B plus 12% excise duty and 2% CST, Central Sales Tax. Okay. And after that, B added another 10,000 to the value and again sold it to C at 12% VAT. Okay. How all these calculations happened and how there was multiplicity of taxes and taxes on taxes, let's see with numbers and then understand the practical importance of GST. Let me also open. You also open with me. You also check on the screen. Okay. Now, see what happened. First transaction between A to B. How much? Sale price is 1 lakh. Now excise duty, how much I said? 12%, correct? So on 1 lakh, 12% is the excise duty. So it became how much? 1 lakh into 12%. So you calculate, it will come to 12,000. Okay. Now we have to add 1 lakh plus 12,000. How much it will come to? 1 lakh 12,000. Now CST is levied by central government only, but they are also taxing on the tax amount. See, 1 lakh 12,000 includes tax, correct? Now on that 2% CST. Okay, 1 lakh 12,000 into 2%, 2,240 came. But in this, already 12,000 was taxed under excise duty, and on that excise duty tax amount, again CST is collected. Okay, yes or no? On 1 lakh if you collect, that's okay. But on 12,000 also again, right? So simply understand, 1 lakh rupees is the value. On that excise duty, first tax will be levied 12%, 12,000. Then total comes to 1 lakh 12,000. Then we will add CST 2%. So 1 lakh 12,000 into 2%, 2,240 comes. When we add the total amount, it comes to 1 lakh 14,240. How much it comes to? 1 lakh 14,240. Okay, clear to all of you? Here you see how much? 14,240 is the total tax. Now excise duty 12,000, CST 2,240, correct? Now, so B will pay 1 lakh 14,240 to A. Clear? Very good. Now B sold the goods to C. B sold it to whom? C. Now B totally paid 1 lakh 14,240. Will he actually collect the same from C? The answer is yes. So 1 lakh 14,240 he will collect. And B thought he will add some profit or additional transportation cost. 10,000 he added. So it became how much? 1 lakh 14,240 plus 10,000, 1 lakh 24,240. Now on that again he has to collect VAT. How much? 12%. So on 1 lakh 24,240, when we added the VAT, it came to, right, 14,909. Right? So 1 lakh 14,240 plus 1 lakh 24,240. Oh, sorry. Is there any mistake? I feel there is a mistake from my side. Okay. There is a small mistake here. 10,000 should have been added. That is not added to this. So please understand, 1 lakh 14,240 plus 10,000, that cost is given in the question, right? That 10,000 should be added. Then 1 lakh 24,240 came. And on that 12%, that is 14,909 is the VAT added. Now you think 1 lakh 24,240 plus 14,909 is equal to 1,39,149. Massive amount has to be paid. Where it started? It started from 1 lakh. It reached to 1,39,000. Correct? 149. So this is what existing tax system is. That means I can say this is before GST era. Now how much you paid taxes? You see. Here I have given the calculation. See, on actual amount, 1 lakh is the original, right, price which A charged. On that, okay, 12% VAT is levied, that is 12,000. I am not talking about excise duty. I am talking about only VAT. Okay, from B to C now, that part I am discussing. Okay, so on 1 lakh, 12%. Okay, 12,000. Then on excise duty, again you are paying VAT. How much? 12,000 into 12%, 1440. And again on your CST, Central Sales Tax, 2,240 was there now. On that again 12%. So how much it came to? 269. Right? This way you paid huge amount of VAT. Right? And 10,000 is the value addition which B did to C. So 12% again on it. That's fair, not wrong. But taxing again on the excise duty, again on CST is not right, correct? Because proper credit was not utilized or given, because some taxes were levied by central government, some taxes were levied by state government, there was no coordination, no support to each other. And who suffered? Ultimately the business, ultimately the economy. Atal Bihari Vajpayee understood the problem and he tried to solve it, but he was not able to. He thought, he worked on it. Later on, all governments tried to work, but finally, Modi ji brought this wonderful system of GST. Now, huge amount of taxes were paid. It's okay, understood. But if suppose same 12% is there in GST, what will happen? Then only you will be able to understand correctly, correct? So let's understand. Suppose now in GST what happened? Central and state are working hand in hand together. So whatever you paid to center, you can get the credit at the state. So like that, exchange of credit is easily available. Okay. Now 1 lakh is the sale price from A to B. 12% is the GST. Now I am not talking about excise because it's gone now. 12% GST. So 1 lakh 12,000 rupees. So what happens? B should pay 1 lakh 12,000 to A. Okay. Now, will B get this 12,000 as credit? The answer is yes. So we did na output tax minus input tax credit. So this 12,000 will become minus, and then balance only C has B will pay to government. Okay, very good. Now B sold the goods for 1 lakh. 10,000 he added, so it became 1 lakh 10,000. On that GST 12%. So it is something like 13,200. Okay. So 13,200 is the GST between B to C. Now you understood only 13,200? Yes, only 13,200. Now what B will do is he'll collect 1 lakh plus 10,000 plus 13,200 from the customer. How much happened? 1 lakh 23,200. Now 1 lakh 23,200 is good or 1 lakh 39,000 is good? You can go to old slide actually and understand 1 lakh 39,000 was paid in the past. With same 12% tax, it became 1 lakh 23,000. Now because products are becoming cheaper, more customers will buy, economy will grow, businessmen happy. Yes or no? Very good. This way what government did, he actually helped the businessmen, customers and the economy to grow. Now already B paid 12,000. So will B again pay 13,200 to government? The answer is no. B will calculate like this: 13,200 minus 12,000. So B will pay only 1,200 to the government. B will pay how much? Only 1,200 to the government. Okay. So B indirectly paid 12,000, and additionally now okay, A paid 12,000 to government, B paid 1,200. So on the total value 13,200 tax paid, and that's collected from the customer. So GST in true sense, in reality, is a multi-point tax system only on the value addition, right? Only on the value addition. Let me again help you to understand. When we calculated in the past slides, right, the VAT, excise duty was included, CST was included, and on the total value plus taxes we calculated VAT. But you come to GST related part, you focus, was 12,000 included when B2C transaction happened? No. Why? Because the businessman know that he will get input tax credit. Okay, this is what the best thing about GST. Now let me tell you what were the problems with the old tax systems. Okay, old indirect tax system, what was the problem? Let me explain. The deficiencies in the indirect tax system I am going to teach you now. I explained with numbers, correct? Now I'll explain in theory. First I explained with theory, then I explained with numbers, then I am explaining now with theory. So you will become expert in this subject. You should be able to write. So that's what I'll discuss now. Practically I explained with numbers, but theoretically let's come back and understand. The first problem with old indirect taxes were that there were many taxes like excise duty on manufacture, CST on sale within two states, interstate sale, VAT on the VAT on the sale within a state, that is intrastate sale, service tax if you levy some or charge some services. Then there is something called as countervailing duty, special countervailing duty, entertainment tax, luxury tax, octroi tax, entry tax. Or my god, so many taxes were there, right? So multiplicity of taxes is the first problem. Now what happens with multiple taxes, I'll tell you. If there are many taxes, a businessman has to register under many tax laws because he will be doing lot of services, lot of selling of goods, manufacturing of goods. So lot of registration, compliances, right? And moreover, in single tax also, law also, goods will have different rates. So many rates are there, many compliances are there, many laws are there, many taxes are there. Arey yaar, businessman will become mental. That's the problem with old indirect tax system. Okay, now another problem we discussed in numericals, cascading effect of taxes. The third point you can see here, there was tax on tax. Like when we calculated VAT in the old problem just now, we saw that on the excise also VAT was there, on the CST tax also VAT was there. So that means there was tax on tax. It became inflationary in nature. People had to pay heavy prices for purchasing the goods or taking the services, hindering the economic development of the nation. This was the problem. And moreover, did we get the credit of excise duty, CST when we paid the VAT? Not at all, right? The input tax credit chain was actually broken because some taxes were levied by central government, some were levied by state government. So that chain was broken somewhere. So this type of problems were faced. Then every state is a separate jurisdiction. Now we as a country should be one, correct? But what happened? Every state from taxation perspective was a separate jurisdiction. Every state border there were something called as tax nakas. Suppose somebody is sending goods from here to other state, then CST has to be collected, right? So for that tax nakas were there. As if India is not a one country but have multiple states which are independent. And this is not at all good. That's why GST was brought. One nation, one tax. Think about a businessman want to set up industry, he'll have to think about more of taxes. How many taxes will be there? What will be the impact of multiple taxes? He had to think. When he has to transport the goods from one place to another, he has to seriously think if it is two different states. So all these problems led that we should bring some unified tax system, yani single indirect tax system, and that gave rise to a wonderful concept, and that is good and simple tax. Yes, it is goods and services tax. Under Article 366 12A, Constitution spoke about it. Okay, so Constitution said GST is a tax on goods and services other than alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Many state governments, including Telangana, said no, if GST is introduced on alcoholic liquor, then how will Telangana survive? Right? So there were many states who were not ready to include alcoholic liquor for human consumption in the ambit of GST. So that's why it was kept aside. And all other things covered under GST in the constitution. So what is GST? As per Article 366 12A, in the MCQs they will ask, okay, what they will say, that GST is a tax on goods and services other than alcoholic liquor for human consumption. So you understood why? Because some states like Telangana get lot of tax collection from wine, right? And these people who drink wine are so sincere, so dedicated, you don't know. Are, if suppose tomato price increases, not rice, potato price increase, people will shout, cry. But if wine prices increase, nobody, gupchup, correct? They know that they are doing some mistake, and that's why they don't talk. They don't cry over the government. So GST is a tax on goods and services other than alcoholic liquor for human consumption as per Article 366 12A. Why? Alcoholic liquor is only taxed by state government. Okay, that's it. Now understand what are the features of GST. Now very simple things I wrote here for you to understand. GST is simply a tax. Okay, so what is GST? It's a tax, goods and services tax. Okay, so basically government will collect tax on consumption of goods and services. Okay, so when you purchase certain good, when you use that goods, or when you take some service, on that you pay something to the supplier, correct? And when you pay something, along with the payment, GST is collected. So second point says GST is a tax on goods and services. Now GST cannot be levied to people who are just sadhu, sant, sannyasi, babas. Why? Because they don't need any goods, they don't need any services. Those agoris, those who live in Himalayas, those who do meditation and they don't want anything in the world, for them GST is not there. But if you go to the market and you want to purchase certain goods, you want to consume certain goods, enjoy certain services, then definitely you have to pay GST. So what does this mean? GST is a consumption based tax. You consume, then only you pay GST. If you don't consume, no GST. That's it. Okay. Next thing. GST is a destination based tax. What do you mean by this word? GST is a destination based tax. That means who will collect the GST? The buyer's state will collect the GST. The consumer state will collect the GST. Okay. There are actually two concepts here also. One is origin principle, the another is destination principle. Again I am repeating. One is origin principle, second one is destination principle. Now what do you understand by the word origin principle? That means seller state can collect the tax. And what is destination principle? Buyer state can collect the tax. So our government, when we introduced GST, we believed in destination based tax. Where more consumption happens, that state should get more money so that they can develop the infrastructure, right? Infrastructure develop karna hai, roads, bridges, dams, security, police, right? Wherever the people are more, consumption is more. So that's why that state should get the money. That's why they said that GST is a consumption based tax. Here center and state both together will levy tax. That's okay. But which state will get the tax? Center obviously will get the tax. Okay, GST, central government will definitely get its part. But which state will get the balance part? The seller state or buyer state? The answer is buyer's state. I'll tell you some practicalities about GST. Basically what happened, that when lot of thinking was going on, how much who should get? They finally agreed 50-50. That means when GST will be charged, central government will get 50% money. Okay? And state government will get 50% money. In this 50% which state government gets, which state should get? The answer is seller's state. Wrong answer. Buyer's state. Right answer. Suppose I go and purchase a 10,000 worth mobile, 18% is the GST. I paid 10,000 into 18%, 1800 rupees. Correct? Now in this 1800, 900 will go to central government and 900 goes to Telangana state. Why? Because destination is in Telangana. Okay? Correct. Now last thing, GST is a value added tax. What is value added tax? We discussed in a multi-point tax system on value addition. GST in true sense is a multi-point tax system on value addition. In true spirit, I'll tell you, the manufacturer will pay 10 rupees tax, wholesaler will pay 5 rupees tax, and retailer will pay 3 rupees tax. This way, only on the value addition, the respective dealer is paying tax to government. And ultimately, the burden is shifted to the consumer. This you should understand. With this, we understood what is GST and its features too. Now, constitutional provisions are there that we'll discuss in next lecture. But let's assume the taxes subsumed under GST and taxes not subsumed. Because anyhow we got to GST, old laws also we discussed today. So we'll close about old laws today itself. Okay. Chal. What are the taxes subsumed? Here some taxes are from central government, some are from state government. So central taxes subsumed we'll discuss first. I said central excise duty on manufacture of goods. I said service tax on service provision of service. I said CST, central sales tax on sale of goods from one state to another. Right? There are some additional duties of customs like CVD, special CVD, right? That also subsumed. Subsumed means presently deleted. GST is there, these taxes will not be there. What are they? Central excise duty, additional duties of customs like CVD, special countervailing duty, or service tax is there, central sales tax is there. Are you able to connect? There were lot of surcharges and cesses which central government was to levy, that also removed. Like if you remember, why you will remember, you are first time learners, how will you remember? But in the olden times there were Krushi Kalyan cess, Swachh Bharat cess. So these cesses, these surcharges were also removed. Okay, so central taxes which were subsumed we discussed. Now let's come to state government. State government was levying tax on entertainment. Like when you book movie tickets, entertainment tax was paid. That entertainment tax removed. Luxury tax on luxury goods removed. Okay, but still local authorities are there, no? Municipalities, they can levy entertainment tax. State government cannot levy entertainment tax, removed. But local authorities, they can levy entertainment tax. Okay, so state government's entertainment tax removed, luxury tax removed, tax on lottery winnings, bettings, that also removed. Removed means included in GST. Okay, very good. Now, all these are removed means they are included in GST. Okay, clear. Now come to the state government taxes subsumed. Entertainment tax is there, value added tax is there, right? Third one I said entry tax, octroi tax, purchase tax, luxury tax. So many taxes are there. Tax on lottery betting is there. These are all the taxes which are removed, deleted, and we can say merged into GST. Okay. Now, some taxes of central, some taxes of state were removed and merged, yeah, subsumed into GST. But some are still continuing. So what are that taxes? Even after GST they are continuing. The first thing, excise duty on alcoholic liquor. State government will levy excise duty on alcoholic liquor. That is still there, correct? VAT on petroleum products. As of now, petroleum products are covered under GST, but GST is still not imposed. They will impose in some time later on. But as of now, VAT on petroleum products, excise duty on petroleum products are still there. Now, when I say petroleum, it includes CNG, diesel, motor spirit, aviation turbine fuel, sub included. Okay, very good. Now, I'll tell you that entertainment tax levied by local authorities still continues. That basic customs duty is there, no? On import of goods. That basic customs duty still continues. So basic customs duty still continues, right, on import of goods, right? Entertainment tax by local authorities still continues. Excise duty on alcoholic liquor by state continues. Excise duty by central government on tobacco products still continue, right? So this way you should remember what are the taxes continuing, what are central taxes deleted, state taxes deleted. This may come in exams for around 4 marks. So please try to remember these things. Now in the next lecture we'll discuss about the constitutional amendments, how constitutional changes can be made. That I'll discuss first, and then that 101 constitutional amendment, some new articles inserted in the constitution because of GST, all that we are going to discuss in the next lecture. So stay connected, focus on each and everything, write down everything, read after the lecture. You are going to rock. Okay, let's meet in the next lecture. Till then, take care. Bye bye everybody.